but has also been a time of extreme divisions. Many of the divisions caused and exacerbated by President Trump himself. It's been a time of several significant and utterly avoidable failures, most tragically, of course, the unwillingness to respect facts and science and do everything that can be done to save lives during a pandemic. It has been a time where truth and fact were treated with disdain. It is a time of cruelty.
The Trump-Vance campaign in 2024 was a very disciplined campaign and did a decent job of depicting President Trump as somebody who obviously had strong feelings on the border, somebody who had strong feelings on inflation and a disruptor, but somebody who was within the realm of normalcy.
That looked painful for Jake Tapper. It would appear that the CNN anchor has changed his tone when it comes to his coverage of Donald Trump. And according to a scoop by Oliver Darcy, that's because Mark Thompson, the CEO of CNN, has told his on-air talent to play nice with Trump. And we'll get to that report shortly. But Cenk, what do you think about that before and after video? It looked rough.
Yeah, so I think mainstream media, unsurprisingly, got the exact wrong lesson. You're not supposed to go, oh, we got caught kissing Democratic ass, so now we should kiss Trump's ass. No, not the correct way to go. I'll explain what I think is the correct strategy, which the mainstream media, of course, will never do in a little bit. But first, more on the story.
Okay, so Oliver Darcy reports that during an editorial meeting last Sunday, Thompson instructed against prejudging Trump. This is reporting from the Daily Beast. It says, in addition to instructing them to keep an open mind about Trump's second term, Thompson told his journalists he does not want CNN's coverage to relitigate the past. Thompson urged talent to withhold expressions of indignation aimed at Trump or his conduct. And Darcy went on to explain, Thompson does not want them endlessly poking the eye of the sitting president and believes that Trump should be shown some deference. And he has made it clear that he wants the MAGA movement to have a seat at the table when discussing political topics, even if certain pundits do use the platform to make incendiary and sometimes false claims. Quite a news station he's running over there. According to the report, no one spoke up against what Thompson said on that call. So Darcy continued, the day after the inauguration, Thompson addressed CNN's daily editorial meeting again. He doubled down on his instruction from 2 days earlier, though did tell them they could be fair-minded without being tough-minded. Big difference there, I guess. But we should note that CNN anchor Jim Acosta is on the fence about just leaving the network entirely, though for a different reason. Reports have stated that Thompson offered him a show at midnight Eastern time, but Acosta's show is currently on at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Darcy has referred to that new time slot as the Siberia of television news because who is watching CNN at midnight? Acosta is notorious for his criticism of Donald Trump, but perhaps that coverage is no longer compatible with CNN's new direction. And it has to be a personal thing with Acosta. His ratings are good. They definitely don't merit him being exiled to Siberia, but we know that Trump does not like Jim Acosta. JR, how far can Trump appeasement go in media before it's just full on censorship?
Well, it's kind of what he was predicting, right? I can make anyone do whatever I want. Once I have this level of power, it was all predicted. It's like, then I can wield this towards folks. This is another one of the consequences of unfettered capitalism. Because of course, it's all based off how much money they can make. That changes the reality. Therefore, you can stop talking about the reality of things. You can allow people to come on the air and sometimes tell falsehoods because we're trying to make some more money. We need more access to the liars so we can maybe make some more money. We're gonna move maybe someone that the president that's now in office again doesn't like so that we can maybe make some more money. It all goes back to the exact same thing. We're driven on this no matter what. And what are the results? People's lives change. People's lives are ruined. Fewer people have actual information that they probably need from what they thought was a trusted news source to make those types of decisions. After they make those false decisions based off of false information, and you elect a president that's going to do none of the things that he said he was going to do, and then your lives are screwed up, I guess that's capitalism. It's the kind of domino effect, and we've seen it when it comes to the way that money is filled up politics, even more so than before. people get bought out, and then they no longer even want to represent the people that they said they came into office to represent in the first place. What's democracy when capitalism controls it? It looks like this.
Yeah, and what's journalism when capitalism controls it?
Yeah.
Cenk, any thoughts?
Oh yeah. So first of all, they started talking about moving into anchors around, and we moved this guy from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I got bored. Moving the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Meanwhile, hundreds of people laid off. I feel terrible for them. They're de-emphasizing TV. I got news for you. You know why? Because TV's dead. So it's dead man walking. They all know it's dead, and they're about to sell it off to private equity, et cetera. MSNBC very likely will be sold off into private equity. CNN is a little bit different animal, but this is their admission of defeat, basically. Defeat in terms of we lost the online media. We're now dead man walking. So start firing the TV staff and start pouring money into online media. Oh, come to Papa. I can't wait. Okay, yeah, you guys will do great in online. Hello, we're fake anchors and we'll kiss up to anyone who's in power. That's what my producer wrote, because that came from the guy up top who says we need access to Republicans and Democrats. And it turns out they're our top advertisers. That's why we love the people in power. Yeah, that's gonna work great for you in online media. Good luck. Okay, so what is the correct lesson to learn? Look, you see me going on right-wing shows, et cetera, so wait, isn't that appeasing them? No, it's not. You go, first thing is, listen, not to Trump. Trump's full of crap, right? Listen to the actual voters, right? And so, here, I'll give you an example so you can understand what I mean. Like establishment media and then sometimes our side, et cetera, think, oh, all those MAGA guys are idiots. They have nothing good to say at all. Now we gotta freaking appease them. Okay, let's appease them. And they think, all right, what do we have to do? Do we have to pretend QAnon is real? Okay, like they're such clowns. No, if you listen to them, one of the things that you would find out is that, for example, they don't like Dick Cheney, they don't like John Bolton, and they're actually a little bit concerned about Rubio, Stefanik, et cetera, that Trump put in as his appointees. Oh, that's interesting, why? Oh, because they're anti-war. Now these guys are honest to a fault, right? I'm not talking about the politicians, I'm talking about the actual MAGA voters. They'll tell you whatever's on the top of their mind, whether you like it or you don't like it, right? So they'll tell you their real positions, and then you go, okay, oh, that one's kind of interesting. And another thing they'll tell you is that the politicians are full of crap. And look, not only do they hate the Democratic politicians, which they most certainly do, but they don't trust a lot of their politicians. So they don't trust the establishment Republicans at all. But CNN doesn't want to hear that. That's inconvenient because they're in the ass kissing business. So if you told them, hey, we hate Mitch McConnell, we hate Nancy Pelosi, they're like, whoa. Don't say that, don't say that. Top advertisers, there are top advertisers, don't say that. Well, then you're never gonna learn, you're never gonna do anything. And so, and now what do you say after you listen, what do you say on air? You don't go, oh, okay, now Joe Biden is 35 and young and dynamic and Kamala Harris ran a perfect campaign, but now Trump is also perfect. Okay, no. You go, Trump's an idiot on this birthright citizenship, it's outrageous, unconstitutional, et cetera. And Joe Biden had his brain falling out of his ear and was a guy who screwed over the Democratic Party, is a giant egomaniac. Oh, no, you can't say that. Oh my God, that's an establishment politician. No. Now we're a little aggrieved. We were lied to. We thought he was 35 and we found out that he's in his 80s. Okay, come on, guys. You're so fraudulent. No, like, you know how you win in media these days? By doing the exact opposite of what you're doing. Being authentic, challenging the powerful on both sides. But they cannot get it through their thick, corrupt heads. So they'll sit there with their stupid ties and their stupid sets, and they'll all go around and around. And last thing, look, they'll have these hilarious conversations, which we talked about after the election, and they do it for the left and the right. They're like, oh, it turns out the Democrats might have lost because of this thing we found out about 2 days ago called populism. Now, of course, that's very dangerous and terrible, and no politician should ever do it. But we heard about it, and all right, so we brought on 7 establishment pundits to tell us what populism is. Why don't you bring on an actual populist? Oh, no, that is very dangerous. We would never do that. Even for MAGA, so that's on the left, right? But on the right, they're like, oh, we brought in Scott Jennings, an obviously establishment Republican who's been doing this for a long time and is part of the consulting class, pretending that he's populist MAGA. And he kisses Trump's ass, so he must be populist MAGA. You haven't had a single populist on air in decades. So go play your silly little games. Then you'll come online and we'll slaughter you in the views and the ratings and whatever else you're looking at. And then at the end, their last desperate attempts will be, guys, take the ties off. And hey, Bobby, try it without a prompter. I hear TYT goes without a prompter. And then Bobby will I remember one time when I was on MSNBC, the producer told us, all right, guys, we ran out of time, so we can't do that last story. You're just gonna have 30 seconds when we come back. It was me and another anchor. So just vamp for 30 seconds. I mean, it's just like do a little chit chat. The other guy flipped out. Of course, I'm not gonna tell you his name, but he was like, what are we gonna say? That's 30 seconds. There's no script, what are we gonna say? I was like, brother, I got it. You don't have to say a word. It's 30 freaking seconds. They're totally, utterly incompetent. They can't do news, they can't do TV, they can't do anything. So nighty night, CNN.
What Cenk won't tell you guys is that he went over by a minute and a half.
That's totally true.
But it's true, right? Like the strategy that they've chosen to go with by being so safe, like their ratings are already tanking. They're already doing so poorly in their ratings, and the whole nature of television is changing right now. And instead of trying something bold and innovative and new, they're floundering and they're doing something so incredibly safe. And for some reason, they think that people are going to respond to it. They're not going to win over right-wing viewers by doing whatever it is that they're doing because they look weak. And I don't think that the right wing responds to that. They're just going to stick to watching Fox News. And the left-wing viewers that they still have, which is not that many, they're not going to stick with them either. Like, what is anyone getting out of looking at CNN these days, right? Even MSNBC has kind of lost its luster in recent years, like especially within the last year with the election, I feel. And they were kind of more, they're more centrist than we are here, but they were kind of like the pinnacle of left-wing legacy media for a while. And I am curious to see what is going to happen to all these anchors, all these legacy anchors, to Jake Tapper, to Anderson Cooper, to Rachel Maddow, to all these people who we're used to seeing on our televisions late at night. The landscape is changing, right? It's moving into media. It's moving in, it's into digital media, into social media, into independent media, where even in independent media, just to be transparent with the audience, of course, it is a business that we're running here. And that's always going to be a factor, right? You're never going to be able to get away from it, right? You still have to get the clicks. You still have to get the views. You still have to work that angle to an extent, but you try to do it as best you can while maintaining your authenticity and not being, not lying to your audience and not trying to trick your audience into watching them. And I feel like if you just do that, your audience will find you, and in effect, your advertisers will find you, or your patrons will find you.
It takes
any
work.
final thoughts before we move on?
Last thing on, I just think it takes work. People they don't want to work. It's hard. It's hard. You have to research. You have to actually look into things. And when somebody tells you something, you have to think about it and then find out if it's right or not. Just same with the teleprompter stuff. Like, oh, well, what else can I say? Because I have to think about what I'm saying rather than just saying what's in front of me. And that's the difference. And I think, these legacy folks may end up doing more podcasts. That's all that's left.
Yeah. So last couple of things to address what Yaz was saying. So first of all, I totally agree with her. The idea that Republicans or MAGA are going to go, oh, CNN has a couple of pundits now that are kissing Trump's ass. Oh, we're going to jump right in. We're all watching CNN now. Do you know how clueless you have to be to believe that? And yet all of CNN's executive management team believes that. So that's why when I tell you guys that everybody's in their bubble, like, you can't believe that they believe that, right? But inside their bubble, they think, oh yeah, we got this. Now we're gonna get all of MAGA to watch us because we delivered Jim Acosta's head to him in a box. So now that we got rid of Acosta, they're just gonna flood in. You're gonna get 0 extra Republican viewers. You have no freaking idea what's going on. And finally, to answer Yaz's question, what's going to happen to all the Jake Tappers and Anderson Coopers? Jake Tapper is going to retire to the board of the Aspen Institute or some other fancy like think tank or thing that's like that super rich people fancy to be intellectual. And they're like, oh, I do declare Jake Tapper's on the board, right? What is he going to do? Could do an online show? Come on, please, right? And Anderson Cooper is going to retire to his Vanderbilt mansion. And he's going to think, nailed it.
It'll be fine.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.